I have been doing DoorDash for almost 3 weeks now, and it's been quite interesting. DoorDash in general is a stress-free option. You set your own schedule. You decide when exactly you want to do DoorDash or when you don't. You use a nice, friendly app, and the app is DoorDash, and it's got everything set up for you. It's got a map. It tells you what the hot spots are for orders. Now what happens is the map itself will light up when DoorDash is being used, like when a restaurant or a merchant has certain orders. You're living in a certain area and you see that it lights up, then you can click on that. It gives you an option of how long you want to dash for, because a dash is basically you're on the clock. Now dashes and deliveries are two different things. You can do 6 deliveries within one dash, so don't freak out about when it says dash or when it says delivery. Within a dash you have a certain amount of deliveries. So far, DoorDash has been quite interesting for me. It's given me some options so that I'm not staying at home doing things that I probably shouldn't be doing, or just getting bored or getting depressed. You know, it is 2019, it is the new year, and New Year's and other holidays are not the happy-go-lucky time frames for some people, and sometimes it is. It really just depends on the circumstances, and everybody's circumstances are slightly different. Right now I am on a dash till 1:30, so that means even while I'm recording I could end up going to a certain location, which I will take you with me so that you can see what exactly I'm doing. But you get this awesome bag. It's a dasher bag, and what I made recently for my car is delivery in progress, and then on the back, upside down I guess, is it mirror image? Food pickup in progress. And that technically allows me to park on the side, park on the curb, but sometimes when I see someone coming out to pick up their food and I happen to be in the handicap spot, I'll flip this real quick, hand them the food, and then I'll go. I really want to make sure I respect that an area for people who can't park too far away and who need to get closer to the building. So I've been dashing for 3 weeks. So far on the first week I made about $182. On the second week I made about $108, and I'm on the third week right now, and I'm looking at almost $100. And it really just depends on how often you dash. Our peak times to dash between like 11:30 and 1:30. I found myself enjoying dashing at night more than dashing during the day. They do only give you one delivery at a time, unless that delivery is on the same route. I was in Boston and I had a delivery to Applebee's, I believe, and then I had another delivery to maybe Quiznos, I don't really remember, whatever, but it was on the same route, so I found myself accepting those, picking up both orders, and the actual delivery was within 1 mile from each other. It's interesting how DoorDash has figured out how to make that work and how to put you on the same route to make things easier. You're able to make a little bit more money. On average, a delivery is usually between $6 and $12. On average, about $10 a particular delivery. So you do enough of those, you're going to make a little bit of money. I don't think it's enough money to live off of per se, but it is a little bit of money for you to do things like I like to do, like go to the dollar store. I just like to go to the dollar store because, you know, it's the dollar store, and the dollar store is pretty awesome. My last delivery wasn't very complicated, but it gets a little frustrating. One of the things that you want to know when you're doing a lot of times merchants are late. Just your on-time ratings based on the merchant's lateness. So today I had a merchant that was literally 20 minutes late. So I was supposed to deliver at like say 11:23, but the food was done and ready for me to pick up at 11:23, even though I was there at like 10:45. You can have a pretty straightforward delivery instruction, but what happens is when you actually get to that location, you end up realizing people you're delivering to have a whole nother set of instructions.
Like, one of the things that I realized is that, okay, I can see on my dash that it says you're going to go to, you know, a mile from here and you're going to drop the food off at this particular location, and they'll have like the address and then the number. So the number is always hard to find when you're driving, right? Because your GPS will say, you have reached your destination. Yeah, you've reached your destination. I know you can make adjustments, but you've reached your destination. So I'm like looking for my destination, and I don't see anyone.
So I'll usually send them a message through contact to let them know that I'm either there. Sometimes I'll send them a message before I even arrive to let them know that the merchant was a little late, or that I'm on my way, or that I forgot something and so I'm turning around to pick it up. I will always try and stay in contact with the particular customer, because I think that, number one, that's a polite thing to do. It's good for them to know that their food is not like hidden or lost. Or some customers are really interesting. You know, they'll say things like, oh yeah,
go down the street and to the left, and once you get to that corner and you see a cat, do not follow the cat.
Do not follow the cat.
Just go the opposite direction of the cat, and once you've gone the opposite direction of the cat, go all the way down, go under a bench. Once you're up from that bench, you're going to want to go down into a cave, and then when you get down to the cave,
make a right.
When you turn right, you're going to see a little statue
of baby Buddha.
And once you see that statue of baby Buddha,
press his belly button.
When you press the belly button, his hands will come out and you place the food on his hands.
It's absolutely insane. I mean, as to where exactly they want you to deliver. You know, the last place I went, which is where I am right now, I had to go up 2 floors carrying tons of food to the left, and then into an office, and then I didn't drop the stuff off in the office. I had to continue going down a hall and to another office, and then to another office. Be aware that when you're doing your dashing, that you're not going to have quote-unquote easy instructions. And when you're dashing, you need to be very, very flexible. You want to be able to have patience. You take your time. You also want to be able to reach your goals. Like for me, my goals are like $50 a day. So I'll do about 3 or 4 pickups in the morning, 3 or 4 pickups in the evening. So if I'm able to make my $50 a day, I think that's a really good deal. This is delivering food. You know, you want to make sure you have everything on that list. Once you arrive, slide. Once you drop off, slide, because those seconds will count against you and also for you. So far, the dashing has been fruitful. There are a lot of places here that I didn't know existed until I started dashing. The easy thing about the dashing is that you start to become familiar with the places you pick up from. You don't have to use your GPS as much, because you're able to find other routes to get there faster. And if you can get there faster, you can usually pick up faster if the food is ready. And then once you pick up faster, you can usually deliver it faster. Make sure that you're clicking route from your particular Doordash, because that way the customer can actually track you and see that you're on your way. Always, always, always stay in close contact with them. Just let them know that you're on the way, and make sure you're contacting the customer, and even though they gave you exactly what they want, make sure you ask them if they want ice in their drink or extra ketchup. You know, keep that communication open, because that helps you with ratings. It's also a nice thing to do, because I think DoorDash is something that is a great alternative to being bored or doing things or being naughty or doing things that you probably shouldn't be doing. For me, I suffer from depression and other anxiety. When I go and do DoorDash, it gives me something to focus on. The 3 ways that you dash are: you either just pick up an order where they've already paid for it and the restaurant has all the information. 2, you use the red card where you actually pay for the items. And you can kind of see it right there. Alright. The 3rd option is they've already ordered it and they're just waiting for you to pay for it on the card. I don't really like the option where I have to go in and order the food, because I'm slow. I'm not sure how DoorDash manages the money going into the card, but I do know that when I use the red card, I have yet to run into any issues. I learned from watching actually a YouTube video on DoorDash. There's between a $5 or less discrepancy, you still make the order and you go for it. It's usually not over $5 difference. So everything has worked out fine. It's been pretty fast. It's been pretty straightforward. Again, I've had some insane actual routes that I've had to take. When you're starting off with DoorDash, get a little nervous. Like, you don't really know where you're going. And if you're new to using GPS on the phone, it can be a little daunting. I promise you, if you continue to do it and you just continue to push, have confidence in yourself, trust the GPS for the most part. I have had a couple GPS hiccups, but what I do is I just call DoorDash and say, hey,
what's going on? Why is my GPS saying to go over there to Haiti when I'm supposed to be over here in the United States?
So there's that. But DoorDash is pretty quick to responding. When I arrive at the location that the GPS tells me, I scan in and then I pause my DoorDash. Because what I have found is that if someone's got me on a freaking treasure hunt to deliver the food, that's not fair to the dasher. So you guys, thank you so much for following me on this dash and subscribing below so that you are able to continue following my dashing journey and seeing what I do. You guys, I hope you have a splendid day.